live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Trading Floor with your humble host, Andrew Barbosa and Jeremy Alexander, from another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food. My YouTube, love life, and trade it. What's going on, boys and girls? It's Thursday, December the 17th. Can you believe it? Man, what an interesting day today was/is. Hope you're all doing phenomenal. Mr. Jackson in the house, Liz, Leslie, Ken, Justin, Linder, man. What you guys got going on for the weekend? Any big plans? Anyone starting to get ready to traveling, or all the traveling next week? Leslie says, man, you're excited all day, baby. All the time. Always. Linderman said, what's up? Not much. Not too much. Pretty calm and cool day. It was a good day, profitable day. Linderman, me and you were looking at the exact same thing this morning, that lumber liquidator, so that was a good trade. Linderman said, feeling the mustard creeping closer. Man, I know. I'm pretty much just going to go ahead and buy it and put some in the fridge. I'll look at Apple today, but I'm pretty confident it's going to happen at this point. So we'll see. We'll look at a few things, but here's SPY. The SPY today, obviously, I mean, if you think about just the numbers, again, we went from 200 to 208 in 3 days. So this selling is pretty expected, number one. Number two, it is still Chop City, right? There's not going to be any change in that, right? I mentioned December 2015 was going to be Chop City. This is the definition of Chop City. I mean, you got some ginormous, huge up candles, down candles, up candles, down candles, up candles, down candles. I mean, it's wild and abandoned. At this particular point, though, I still kind of think today is a good day, or was a good day to buy the dip or buy the pullback. If you didn't get a chance to get in on Monday and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really wish I could get in that low. If we pull back down, right, and get a buying signal, or you want to buy down there, that's fine. I mentioned to you guys this week, I was very confident that we wouldn't break the low of Monday. I'm still very confident that we won't do that. I mean, tomorrow, anything is possible, but I just really don't see that happening. Now, as I mentioned, the only way I'm going to go bearish or be bearish is if this happens, right? Boom. And we close below this neckline. Then on that retest, that's when I'm going to go bearish, if that is really the case. I don't really anticipate that happening nor see that happening, but I've heard of crazier things happening in the market. So at this particular point in time, I think we can get rid of these trend lines and just kind of look and see that we are still technically getting some lower high action right there. So there's a trend line that's happening. So that does show a little bit of weakness out there. But again, I think today it was a good buy the dip pullback opportunity. I agree with you guys. It is a bearish engulfing candle. And I also agree that we'll probably fade this gap a little bit, probably come back down here and gap, bounce off that support action, and just chop around into the end of 2016. Then in January, not really sure. So this, I know this isn't 2011 I'm comparing it to, but these two situations happened right around the exact same time of the year. Would not be surprised if we continue to do just that in January. So this was really the exact same time last year. Swing traders right now are just getting abs of steel because, I mean, if you factor in really this time last year to right now, we're flat. But look at the swings we've had. Bam, 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 woo, 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 bam, bam, bam. It is wild. So a lot of the funds, hedge funds, mutual funds out there, they're feeling this volatility, which is good. Day trading has just been an absolute blast. Swing trading is just, taking its toll. We don't really have that many swing trades going on right now, believe it or not. We really, truly don't. Click me did this again. All right, give me 3 seconds. Let me take a picture. Give me just a moment. Okay. So let me try this again. I think you guys lost my screen. So I'm doing this through Safari, right? Yes, doing this through Safari. Okay. So anyway, SPY. Let it pull back. Let's see what it can do. If you bought some protection, great. Good time to have some protection. We can see that volume is picking up. Volatility is here. And what I was trying to mention earlier is, like I said, we're not in that many swing trades. because really I'm not going to get you guys into swing trades when this is going on, because swing trades really are meant to be able to place, sit at your desk, and not look at them for a few days or a few weeks or a few months. That's kind of the goal, and that's really not what's been going on in the markets. You've got to be very, very quick and very, very nimble to swing trade this market right now. So if you're feeling yourself, if you're thinking, I just don't really see any good trade setups, or you're starting to feel a little bit bored because you haven't traded in a while, fantastic. Keep feeling that way. Keep feeling bored. Keep feeling like you want to protect your money, because trading out of boredom is probably one of the most detrimental things you can do. So don't do that. If I ever feel bored, I either turn off the computer, go play a game, go work out, go do something, because you can trade out of boredom, and you'll just give your money to the machine. Just give it away. Open up your palms full of $100 bills and just say, please take my money because I'm bored and I want something to do. So again, day trading is great if you're not a day trader, because you're here in your afternoon swing trading room. I totally understand. We don't have tons of swing trades going on. These are really about it. We have Ruby Tuesdays. We can look at Ruby Tuesdays. We've been tracking Ruby Tuesdays really since October. Not much is really going on. We got a little bit of a bounce down here today. We've gotten pennies away from our stop a multitude of times, and we have a little bit of a new white soldier today. If you're still in Ruby Tuesdays, great. If you're not, no worries. It's a very, very long term. I think when we got to that trade, I mentioned that this is not one that we're going to want to be in for paying the bills purposes. This is just like a longer term, very high risk, good chance of getting stopped out, but high risk reward type of setup. And it's going to take 7 to 8 months to go through. And this is just one of the ones I wanted to follow to just show you sometimes that these trades can take forever. These whole buy low, sell high, they take a long, long time. And a long time to me in the market is months. Sometimes it feels like weeks can be a long time. So to kind of give you guys a perspective on that, CMI, one of the other few swing trades that we are in, CMI we've only been in really about 2 weeks. So let's see when we posted this. December 1st. Yeah, so pretty much exactly 2 weeks. December 1st we posted CMI. And it feels like an eternity. So right now it's at 85.96. Today is Transportation Thursday, so I figured we could look at CMI anyway. And at this particular point in time, let's turn on the exponential moving averages. I would love to hit 82.11. It's only $3 away from where we are. Well, really $4. It's going to take a little bit of a special move in the markets to make CMI get down there this next week. But I think we can at least take our stop and put it to 91.62 just to lock in about an R of profit, just in case we do get a little bit of a rotation higher. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do on CMI, is just drop the stop a little bit if you're in that trade. I do know a few of you guys in shares. A few of you also have options for January. So if you have January options, you still have time left on that trade. Let it. I know it's feeling like it's extended, and it is. I'm not denying that, but we don't really have any signs of reversing, and this looks like a flag pattern, and it looks like we're continuing lower. So you could just take your stop and lower it down a little bit, but if it hits 82.11 on Cummings, I'm totally out. We'll exit there, and hopefully we can do that in the end of December, because that's really one of the few December swing trades that is working so far. A few of the other ones got stopped out, and thankfully so, because the market really reversed nicely. Fossil is the one that's still open, FOSL. FOSL, still open, still trading sideways, and I still like the setup. Don't know if it'll trigger or not, but really at this point, if it closes below 36.02, stop above 39.96, the EMAs are in the direction of the trade. You're trading in the direction of a gap. You'd be breaking through a support area again. And I know we don't look at Bollinger Bands that often, but we're getting closer to a Bollinger Band squeeze. The more we trade sideways, the more we're getting a squeeze. So at this point, the squeeze is on. So if it closes below 36.02, I guess we'll just have to trade in the direction of the trend. LL talked about lumber liquidators yesterday, and this was a trade that I was mentioning. I posted on GroupMe, updated it in the TradingView charts, talked about it on the earlier morning trading room. This was a trade that we wanted, or I wanted to at least buy the pullback. I was going to do that this morning. So if you did do a limit buy and just had your stop, and again, you just walked away from the trade, you got stopped out of the trade. Great risk mitigation. However, Lumber Liquidators this morning, notice this gap. Type in a 1 if you think it trapped people. I mean, it absolutely trapped us because first of all, I was looking at going bullish yesterday. So you can pretty much believe if I'm trading a particular stock a certain direction, I'm not saying that you guys are trading that specifically, but someone else out there in the world is going to be looking at that in the same way. Right? If I'm looking at it the same way, someone else is going to be looking at it the same way. And if I'm looking at something to go bullish, and then the next day you have a huge gap down, that's going to trap some people. So this was a phenomenal bearish gap on a day trade level, and it still could be a pretty good gap for any of my short-term swing traders and or day traders. You got, here's the black candle on the hourly chart, gap down, so here's a little bit of a retest. So if Lumber Liquidators keeps rolling over, which I think it will, I think LL at this point will keep going down. $12, $17, $15. That's just my thoughts on Lumber Liquidators. And the reason I think that today is just purely because of the gap. So if you want to play it, I think you have a little bit of a bearish bias to it. Did cancel the trade, and if you did take it, you only lost an R. So you still got your house, your home, your family, your clothes, your cars, your job, everything is great. But that gap, man, that is trapping some people. I'm sure of that. So if it keeps going down, you can find a good bearish entry for it. Swing, baby, swing. Mosaic, we did get triggered into Mosaic, ticker symbol MOS. This is a good trade so far. I don't know if it'll work, but I like the way it's looking. It's doing what we wanted it to do almost to the penny. So if it breaks this low, this would be kind of a rest after battle pattern. Volume did increase on the bearish days, and if it starts making some lower lows and some lower highs on Mosaic, target 1, 25.87, again, to either lower the stop and or take some profits, and then 22.79 is going to be the ultimate target on ticker symbol MOS. So we looked at that one, posted that one, wrote that as a trade setup for Trader Planet as well. So there's a lot of people in that particular trade, I'm sure. And at this point, just got to follow your trading plan. The other one is BBD. We looked at BBD yesterday, and we'll look at it tomorrow as well, since it is a finance stock. And tomorrow, of course, is Finance Friday. We will check that out. So here's BBD. I liked this candle yesterday. I still like this setup. Still hasn't triggered, though. So I'll say this. If tomorrow, if we gap up in the morning, or, pretty much if we gap up in the morning, I think we're going to trade a little bit higher. Either with a high wave candle or something, maybe like an inside day candle. I think the overall markets move a little bit higher tomorrow. Here's your IYT, since we're on Transportation Thursday. And Transportation Thursday, notice, wanted to trigger above or close above 139.40. A lot of volume came in today on the IYT. A lot of volume. So realistically, haven't gotten triggered in IYT yet. It's looking a little bit more bearish. This is pretty much a Marubozu candle. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't see this very often, but that is a perfect Marubozu candle on IYT. Perfect. If we break the high, or if we gap, specifically, I don't think we're going to open above here tomorrow, but if we open above here, I will buy calls with my eyes closed. Just letting you guys know. Do not think we do that tomorrow, but if we do, I will be ready. Stop or trap for bears. What I mean by that is, if it gaps above there or something, it could be a little bit of a bearish candle. But realistically, I've never really seen a perfect Marubozu candle on IYT with that kind of volume in a long, long time. And it kind of excites me. In fact, let me go look and see when the last Marubozu candle was. on IYT. Nope, not that one. It was close. That was a very close one right here. Very, very close. So I do think we retest a little bit tomorrow. I think we have an inside day candle tomorrow. Nope, not a Marubozu there. Open. Almost 3 pennies away from a Marubozu right there. That is the last one. Right about there. Right there. That's the last Marubozu candle, which did end up eventually leading to some lower lows. So with this market, I would not be surprised if we do something like this and roll over. Just be cautious, but noticing this candle and noticing the volume, and if I can just kind of take into consideration the exact last time that we got a Marubozu, which was right here on the 8th of June with also pretty good volume. We did make a little bit of a lower low the next day. We kind of chopped around and then we ended up going lower. Based on this signal alone and this candle and the fact that you got the volume, right? Black candle gap down to retest. We did retest. I think we're going to break some lows and head a little bit lower on some of the transports. That looks bearish to me, and as crazy as it might sound, this is a signal that's giving me a little bit of an eyebrow raise on some of the bullishness, because if the IYT breaks this trend line, this really long-term trend line, you can see we're continually making lower highs, and that would cause a pretty significant and an actual relative divergence in the transports and the Dow Jones Industrial and the Dow Jones Transports. Pretty interesting, folks. Volume is here. I do anticipate some small white candles probably next few weeks, maybe something like this. But if we trade up to here and then we roll over, I'm probably going to go bearish, because that's pretty much the same thing that happened right there. We never closed above that high. We did open above it, but we never quite closed above it. So I don't think we shouldn't close above this candle. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and write this down. 12, 17, 15. If we do not close bullish above today's candle in the next month, pretty dang bearish signal. I'm going to post this. This is really interesting, guys. Warning signal on the IYT. Newsom is rarely bearish, but this candle and volume is the real deal. Let's be cautious and see how it plays out. Expecting some small sideways white bullish candles the next few days. What day was that on again? 6-8. But the last perfect bearish Marubozu candle on the IYT was on 6-8-15 and did cause some lower lows to be had. Ooh, interesting. I think that's interesting. All right. Let the fun begin. Like I said, folks, one candle can change everything, and I'm a perma bull, but I'm all for the market rolling over. I'm just letting you guys know. I don't know if it happens. Doesn't have to. I'm not going to keep proclaiming that it's going to and keep being wrong, but if it happens, we can have some fun. We'll be ready. All right, IYT. And here's something, this is just a random total rant that's 100% off topic that has no correlation to the stock market at all, in a way. Something that I think you guys would find interesting. But I've noticed this trend before, and I've absolutely noticed it now. But in the stock market trading, stock market educating, stock market world, that world/business that Angie and myself are in and that others are in, interest goes up when the market goes down, and interest goes down when the market goes up. That is 100% factual. Like, that is, you can dial a clock by that. So it'd be good for business if the market is absolutely tanked. That's why a lot of companies always promote market tanking, because business is booming when the market goes down. One of the few businesses that is recession proof. Obviously, it's unfortunate for the mass majority of people out there. And so a lot of people say, hey, I'm doing this to protect everyone, but really they're just doing it to get business. So my thought is, let's just always make money in the bullish markets. And when the bearish market does happen, sure, we can tell as many people as we can about it, but we're not going to always think the market's bullish. Or I'm sorry, we're not always think the market's bearish. I just think that this is a really, really interesting candle, really interesting volume. And if we do not close above this high in the next month, something's up. Questions, concerns, thoughts, or opposing views about the general market, ladies and gentlemen? Got a few other stocks over here to look at. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Sonic MMM, got those on the list. Boom. Justin says, going back to that last Marbozu. All right. It did trade back up and then gapped over that high. Correct. Did not close bullish, though. Absolutely. So there's a really good chance that's going to happen. So we could trade back up, but we're going to need to close above there. If we don't, I mean, because the market, people are just going to go all out bearish after seeing this, and they could do this and just not close above. Close above is going to trap a lot of people, but it never close above. That'll be the key. That will be the key. And we'll be ready for it, too, if it does just roll over nicely. All right, sweet. Let's go look at some of the airlines. My boy SJ says Southwest Airlines looks interesting after today. That it does. So we had a few bullish perspectives over here on the breakout. We repeated time and time again that bullish breakouts at all-time highs have been horrible. I tried one anyway because I thought it would work, and it just didn't again. So I knew this one wouldn't, but then after, the little rotation came down, got some hammer candles, I was like, all right, maybe this is the one. And it did end up doing this even, but then still again, no. So Stan, your covered call will probably expire worthless. I agree, Steven. It does look interesting. I mean, if you blend, which I should have a class one day on candle blending. It's pretty hard to teach, I think. Anyway, if you blend these candles together, this and this, they form a really good rest after battle type of pattern. Seems, let's get that R back from the busted swing. I know, man. I know. This is the gap right here that really is strong, right? Here's your gap up that occurred on the 22nd of October. Really strong, bullish gap and go. That's why we did just trade back down to that little beast just the other day and bounce. So here's your hourly chart, and on the hourly chart on Southwest Airlines, we have here a black candle gap down, bearish retest gap. Right here in green is the retesting of that gap, at least in my opinion. Really strong hammer candle. So again, white candle gapped up. That was a bullish retest gap. That was some retesting, and then it has failed this gap. A little bit of a pennant pattern on Southwest Airlines. I don't have the best setup for it at the moment. It'd be kind of like this by this, and this would be a target. So kind of like a limit sell around 43.72, stop around 44.33, and target 42.84. I'm going to put it on here, and I will say aggressive swing. For those that follow LUV often, and there's a few of you out there, could be fun. I do slightly anticipate LUV making some lows. So this would be a retest of that pennant pattern, even though it kind of already did it today. You might get another shot at it. This would be a limit sell. Again, this is, as I mentioned in the note, for those who trade or track Southwest often. There are a few of you out there who trade this one pretty much once a month or once a week or once a day. You just love Southwest, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a good company. Probably would trade this with shares rather than options, but either way, it's fine. Target would be about 42.75, so it's about a 1 to 2 at best. It's decent. It's not horrendous. You can maybe take this limit sell up a little bit higher. I'll save that chart. And that's pretty much what I would go with. Eufredo says, me. Yeah, bro. So there's one of them right there. I knew there was someone out there that's a big fan of Southwest. Which is totally fine. Are you in a trade right now, Eufredo, or are you just waiting, man? If I see a Southwest moving, I usually know Eufredo's on it. Steven says, if you have time, check out CP. I think we can do that. We should have time today. He said, just waiting. All right, man. Rock on. Well, that's what I got on Southwest. Again, coming over here to the daily chart, and I'll show you guys some exponential moving averages. It's interesting, today's little, bearish engulfing candle and just really failed the moving averages. So if this pulls up and rolls over, I think Southwest could at least make it back down to this level. And then if Southwest breaks through this support, gonzo. Nice, Justin. All right, let's check out American Airlines really quick, down 1%. So they're all the airlines are going to look pretty similar. American, a little bit of a bearish candle. Nothing on that right now. We had a put sale on American Airlines. Already bought it back. I'm going to wait on a January. 12, 17, 15. If American Airlines can trade down into 38, looks buyable. That looks viable. That's really all I got on Southwest. It is American Airlines. It's pretty dang, it is 100% sideways right now. I was about to say, it's pretty dang sideways. No, it is sideways as can be. Like, the last 7 months, 6 months have just been sideways. You had 3 weeks of good movement, sideways, 2 months of good movement, 2 months. I mean, it's just... So you're building a little bit of consolidation. We can see how it's breaking down. But yeah, if it breaks out of here and trades down to 38, I think that could be a good buying opportunity. Delta Airlines. Here's the daily chart. And I was keeping an eye on this one, but just didn't pull the trigger for numerous reasons. One of those reasons, all-time high breakouts have been terrible this year. Here's another example. Now we have a one black crow on Delta. So let's write this one in. 12, 17, 15. Another failure of an all-time high breakout. One black crow on Delta likely leads to lower lows. So if you're day trading or short-term swing trading Delta, it'd be a little bit bearish. If you're looking to do some covered calls, could maybe have some covered calls up here, some potentially, and just kind of go from there. Maybe into some callers, but yeah, if you're day trading or short-term swing trading Delta, probably pulls back a little bit. If you're doing the swing trading where you're at work, you want to set a trigger, set a stop, and walk away, probably not the trade to take on Delta, at least not yet. All right, cool. JetBlue. JetBlue's getting close. Got one more day left, so it should be okay. Got 75 cents left to go. This thing expires tomorrow. I said it looks like free money. That's the hardest working free money I've ever traded. But JetBlue had a great gap. It is a bearish retest gap. We have retest a little bit. And JetBlue, the 200 SMA is at $22.52. What's up, Ange? You need anything? Maybe not. Didn't know. Sherry Shutter. Mic comes on. Cool. Let me look at the chat pane. You guys are good. Linderman's making airline jokes. Again, this one expires tomorrow. You could buy this one back tomorrow, pretty much at open. four 20 cents. But that because the bid ask spread is like 0 and 20. That's how it was the majority of the day, 0 and like 15. So you can't really buy it back unless you do a limit order. I'm just gonna see if that one will go to option heaven. We're gonna be watching that one very, very closely. Well, not very, very closely, but I'll be watching it closely tomorrow. Gonna have a few that are gonna get pretty close. Yahoo, FAS, and JetBlue. Those are really the only three that are getting kind of close. But even on JetBlue, I mean, to pull down to $22 wouldn't be a horrendous place to buy it. Right at the 200 simple moving average, and looks pretty good. Okay, let's go look at Tesla. Tesla, ladies and gentlemen, did actually pop on the day we thought it would. That is pretty awesome. I included that in the real life stock review on Wednesday. It was a very, very profitable day trade. And as of today, we have a high wave candle right at the 100 and 200 simple moving averages. Shocker. So this bad boy, as we talked about, will likely expire worthless on January 8th. I probably will attempt to buy that back sometime next week. It already has lost some value, a pretty significant amount, pretty good chunk of change. We got into that one on the 14th, I believe, of December. So I'll give that another few days potentially, but anytime I can buy a put sale or anything back for 80% of what I was going to get, and there's still 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, or there's 2 weeks or more left expiration. I have 80% of it gone. I'll just exit. So just keep that in mind on Tesla. If that's the case, great. That trend line's still holding up. We popped very, very well the other day. Really, really fun day trading opportunity, and traded right into the 100 and 200 simple. Leah says CBI is getting close too. I sold the 37.50 for tomorrow. All right. I think that's all we have on Tesla. Here's the resistance. If we close above there, I won't be bearish. I just, probably bullish to non-directional. Let me let TradingView unfreeze for some reason. Take a second to get some water. And I'll look at your CBI, Lita, as soon as I can. Letting this load, letting TradingView load. Load, TradingView load, down. Of course it deleted that I just did. Not only did it delete what I did on Southwest, but I even saved the chart. Now I gotta go back and do that because I want to try to trade that one tomorrow, maybe. I even saved it. I even clicked the save button. Oh, the despair. Hashtag first world problems. My charting software, which allows me to trade the stock market, didn't save my lines. What a good thing to complain about, right? Steve says, you doing the room in the morning? Do cows produce milk? Only some cows, actually. That was pretty bad. Yes, I'm going to be there. That was dumb. Oh, man. It was like, do birds fly? I mean, not all of them, no. Some of them don't. Do cars drive? No, not if they don't have an engine or tires. They don't go anywhere. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be there, man. I will be there. All right, Tesla, close above 239. I'm just going to be more bullish than I am now. I'm just kind of bullish to neutral. Really, I'd say on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being, hey, this guy is going to go buy a Tesla and throw $100 bills painted with real-life trading colors out the window and tell people to buy shares of Tesla. If that was a 10, probably at a 5.1 right now on Tesla. If it closes above that trigger, I'd probably be like a 6.1. So just a little bit more bullish, which means I'm pretty neutral if I'm right in the middle. And neutrality means I'm probably going to be selling options, and that's what this 195 is doing down there. So I'll probably end up trying to buy that one back, honestly, pretty soon. 80% is not as much as you think it is, up to 285. So I'll probably give that one over the weekend, and we'll see. Tesla's on here twice for some reason. All right, CP, CPI. We'll go check those out. Let's go look at Sonic. I was looking at Sonic the other day, right? I liked it, and today is the exact reason I didn't like it. Last time we were checking out, Joe Ferrero posted some fibs. It looked really good. I liked Sonic being a little bit more bullish than bearish. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't have that, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's a French word that people use in that time, in that structure of a sentence. I can't think of the word. It doesn't have the flair, is the poor man's English way of saying it. It doesn't have it. It did move nicely on a day trading level. So here's your hourly chart, right? So, bullish retest gap up. It did make a few, about almost 40, 55 cents of bullish thrust for a short-term swing or day trade level. That's really about all you got on Sonic. Now you got a little bit of an evening star reversal pattern, which we still could pop. I think today was kind of like a little bit of a buying the dip thing. I think we're going to probably bounce a little bit tomorrow. But on Sonic, I'll leave that analysis on here. If you like it, awesome. I'm not the biggest fan, again, just because earnings is coming up right around the corner. There's my girl, Litas. It says, je ne sais quoi. Yes! That's the word. You know how people who can speak foreign languages, they do that all the time. They're like, how do you say this word in English? Because they don't, they speak other languages fluently. I just have a problem with my current language. What's that word in English that I'm looking for? That word that means like quick. Yes, je ne sais quoi. It's a great word, man. The French language sometimes is just so baller. Anyway, Sonic had one analyst the other day on Twitter say, maybe this is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, which I also don't massively disagree with. It's a pretty dang large inverted head and shoulders pattern. Like, that's huge. I like them to be about 2 to 3 months. That one's 6 months. This one could be one. I like that one a little bit better, like shorter term. That's 2 to 3 month inverted head and shoulders. That's the breakout. That's the retest. That's the continuation. I like that one. But the really, really huge one, I'm just not sold on it. So anyway, no real official trade setup on Sonic. Now, 3M, a.k.a. the maker of tape. What do you guys, I'll give you one word and one word only. Why do you think that I'm interested in this particular chart or stock for a swing trade? If you guys had to guess, what would it be? One word I'm looking for. About 3 letters long. Starts with a J, ends with a P, has an A in the middle. The Gap. Yeah. Gap, man. People are trapped on that thing all day. But imagine if you bought 3M right there or right there off to 50. You're expecting a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and you got new white soldiers galore, and then just beautiful gap right below the 50, just really trapping people. And it didn't have anything stopping in between there and the 100. And that's what happened. It traded down today. So I am looking for a bearish swing on 3M based on the gap. Possible stop right about here. Let's go investigate the hourly chart just to squash and see what it's doing. And the hourly looks pretty good. This is the middle of the day, these candles right here. So that's the open, and that's the middle of the day. Looks like a little bit of a double top on the hourly. This is probably like a limit sell. Let me pull up the exponential moving averages. Again, the 100 simple moving average is right about here. Now, what do you guys think? So let's practice this just a little bit when we do these setups. So let's say, excuse me, I'm setting up a trade on 3M to kind of help you with your analysis of your gaps, and you do this setup and you're thinking, okay, I'm bearish and this is how I'm gonna go on this trade. And let's hypothetically say that 3M opens tomorrow at 151. Are people going to be trapped, yes or no? And the answer is most certainly yes. And if that happens for a day trade and or a swing trade, you could kind of hop on that. It depends on your trading profile. You obviously don't have to. But if you're able to catch that or able to see that or even notice it, either before the market opens or after the market opens, you can definitely dissect that and understand that that's why. If you look at a chart and say people would place their stop there and the stock is gapping to that location that people place their stop, that's a pretty bearish setup. So anyway, 3M I think is kind of a flag pattern. I like the moving average, and my main question is, am I being a little too aggressive on this trade? And the reason I say that is because there is some support right here, and we did technically make a higher high and a higher low, which means this will be a flag pattern if it breaks lower, and if it doesn't break lower, it won't be a flag pattern. We're going to get stopped out. I'm thinking I'm being a little aggressive on the trade. Niels, I'm going to let you tell me, man. Yes or no, do I make this trade official? You've been chatty today. He says no. All right. I will not. I'll come back to it tomorrow, though, and then we'll look at it, see what it looks like. For those of you who may or may not like it, I'm looking at be a limit sell. And we'll just come back to it tomorrow. All right. 3M. Leah says, could do a bear call spread. Yeah, absolutely. Bear call. Probably won't be tons of money, but let's go check it out. Yes. Could do a bear call. MMM. Options. January 8th. Let's see, 155, 157. Has a little bit of money in it. That's not that bad, actually, Lita. 155 is 42 cents and 27 cents. So at market, you could get 15 cents on a $2.50 margin, which isn't terrible. I'd want a little bit more. Maybe a January 15. 155 is about the most aggressive I'll do. 155, 160 for January 15th is still not that great. I will say I do like the bear call spread idea. Let me know if you get into one, Lita, because this is where I would like to get into one, right? It's above the exponential moving averages, above the gap. Because, this is still possible. But at this point, I really do love this gap on 3M. I love everything about the trade. Love the volume, the gap, the location, the candles, the volume, all that kind of good stuff. Lee says 152.50 sell. Yeah, if I did that, that'd definitely be like a next week expiration. Next week or maybe 2 weeks, but you're definitely going to get some premium if you sell the 152. That's for sure. Even for next week. Well, I say that. Next week is 19 cents and the 155 is... You'd have to battle for 25 cents, which is 10% return on your investment for next week. For a 152.50, which is right about here, which isn't quite above the high of the candle. I'd give it a solid B for a bear call spread. If there is more money, I'd try it out a little bit more. We'll look at it more on Friday, but it's definitely on my radar for a trade setup. Okay, let's go check out the Ferrari IPO. Ticker symbol RACE, Race. And Race down 2%. This was a little bit of a kind of a bracket wedge looking thing that I wanted to do something with but couldn't because it was a brand new IPO. So far, don't have anything interesting on the Ferrari IPO. I see that maybe having a little bit of a pattern like this could break lower, but it's still very, very new. I don't see anything, guys. No real setup. Unless we closed above here, then I'd be more bullish, or I could maybe form a little bit of a double bottom type of thing, perhaps. I don't see that happening. I'd be pretty shocked if that happened anytime soon. It obviously could, but I don't think the Ferrari IPO is going to do that well. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Let's go see if we can find anything with General Motors and Ford. General Motors add a little bit of a gap right here, and looks like it wants to try to fill that gap just a little bit. I will say I'm not going to do this trade personally, therefore it's going to make it hard for me to do it officially. But for anyone who likes GM, that's how I would play it right there. Break below the low. 1.5 R's is 32.11, which is decent. Not bad. Just decent. The high of this bearish candle is 35.27, so I'd make this 35.34 or something. That'd really be about it, folks, on GM. I mean, you got that little support right there. If it breaks that support, target 1 would be here. Target 2 would be 29.27. I can see kind of an ugly, very ugly little pattern like that. Long-term moving averages might get in the way. Here's your long terms. And resistance is right about there, 36.48. And we're right on the 200 simple moving average. We're right on top of it. So you could also, I mean, at this point, I've got to wait for a close blow there. And I would say 12, 17, 15. If it closes below trigger, could set up a limit sell to short off of the 200 SMA the next day. So we'll be looking what we would be looking at in that situation, kind of what I'm referring to, is let's say hypothetically tomorrow we close bearish below that candle. Then the next day you just do a limit sell off the 200 and again roll down would be probably the best setup that I could have on GM. Ford is probably going to be a little similar. No, not quite. Trade to the 100, bearish engulfing pattern could be fun for a day trade maybe. Yeah, it looks like the day trade could be kind of entertaining. Perhaps. I don't think it would just be like an absolute scorcher by any means. Something like this. 1394 by 1409. Could be a day trade or a really short-term swing trade. That's only solidly decent. Probably give that one a B+. If you're a big tracker of Ford, that could be kind of like a fun trade maybe. I don't think it'd go massively far. But we did open right at the 100 and fade all day. So if you track Ford, I'm not bullish on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'd be a little bit more bearish on that one. Honda Motor Company. This stock is traded 24 hours, and it does gap pretty often. You also have a little bit of a bearish candle on Honda. It's trading right smack dab in between the long-term moving averages, which means this thing is intrepidly sideways. And, man, I guess it'd just be a buy low, sell high kind of channel. 12, 17, 15. Appears this stock is on a sideways quest in a nice channel. Buy low, sell high if it fits your plan. Pretty much about it. Ken says intrepidly. Is that not a word, Ken? I definitely said a word the other day that was not an English word. Ashley was like, what? Had postpone. It wasn't postpone. I like blended the word postpone and appalling. Postpalling? Yeah, I think that was it. Postpalling. Oh, that's just postpalling, man. She's like, what? It makes sense. It's like you're waiting to be appalled at something. Like you're postponing to be appalled. I don't know. Whatever. Whatevs. But this is HMC, Honda Motor Company. It's smack dab in the middle. It's just trading very, very sideways. Buy low, sell high, send channel. That's pretty much what we got. Fiat Chrysler Automobile, ticker symbol FCAU. FCAU doing about the same thing. We thought perhaps this was a V bottom down here. Had a little bit of a bracket trade the last time it was at this little support. So here's the bracket trade. Broke down bearish for a point or two. Did again for another point or two. And is again back up to this level. Fiat Chrysler is a tough one to trade. It's a pretty hard one to figure out. I see a lot of gaps, and it's kind of an ugly chart. I mean, I don't really have a trade for it other than saying, could this be a double bottom? And the answer is yeah, absolutely it could be. And if it closed above that neckline, it'd probably trade back up to 1627. That's what I got on Fiat. So I got those two. I think I had 3M on here twice, maybe. My boy Dan Walsh says CSX, not great. CSX, nope. Breaking some pretty strong support. It has made it back down to a really, really interesting level, which is this level right about here. And this support, which we could get one additional opportunity to go bullish on. That was the exact same low, really that Monday low, right? We bounced back there in August. We bounced back there just the other day. CSX looks like a really solid evening star reversal of some kind. It's almost one of my favorite evening star reversals where the low of the third candle is equivalent to the low of the first candle. Not entirely sure if indeed it moves lower. The swing trade perspective on this is not great. That's more of a day trade setup. But if CSX breaks the low of this white candle, which is 25, I would think it goes a little bit lower. Here's the hourly chart. So Steven was looking at this one today. And the hourly chart, Mr. Jackson, a little bit of volume coming in. Kind of a little bit of a double top on the hourly there. Closes below the neckline. A little bit of a retest, a continuation. So something like this on CSX could happen. Best thing I can figure is it would be a day trade. And if you like CSX, and I only know 2 or 3 of you who do, you could try to see if we buy it down here at this $25 price range or $24.90. Right, this little low that occurred in August. And buy low, sell high. So the stock trades down to there. That could be a place to pick it up. And again, you could have a little bit better of a risk-reward ratio. Don't know if it breaks through there or not, but it probably might. Waste management. Just wondering to see if there's anything on here. Anything on the chart that looks interesting? No, not really. Other than sell high, buy low, that's really all I got on waste management. Here's the resistance. Here's the support. And this is a sell high, buy low kind of area. On waste management, this stock has been able to pick up some more volume on its stock recently. It used to be not that high of a volume stock. I think this probably rolls over a little bit. I mean, you got a similar triple top type of pattern there and there. We are still making lower highs from that angle, kind of a little bit. I don't have any trade set up on waste management. A little bit more bearish than bullish on it. But otherwise, I don't really have much on that. UPS. So UPS was a big gap today. I think a very easy fade. One of the more easier fades out there. And a fade, ladies and gentlemen, is when you trade a stock in the opposite direction of the gap. So you had giant sell-off, big white candle, big white candle, big white candle, huge gap up. So UPS went from 96 to 102 in 4 days. So for my faders out there in the world, day trading land, just as soon as it opened, just started selling, and you had a really, really good rollover right there towards the end of the day. A little bit of boom, by a little bit of pow. So anyway, just you can see the sentiment, right? Anyone who bought in these days, this was just profit locking. I think that's what happened today. I think today was a lot of profit locking. I do think we bounced. I could be entirely wrong about that, and it'll be really, really interesting to see if we do. So maybe. We will see. I think today was just a lot of profit taking. Still more Chop City to come in 2016. Any questions on UPS? Only thing I got on this particular trade is this put sale. It's way, way down there at 92.50. I know I got a long time left on that one, but it's at a really good low. And this 94.41 is a really good support. With this bearish candle, it looks like it'll probably do this and then bounce a little bit. And that's, again, just kind of what I think happens in general. Something like that. I don't see it being super exciting or super bearish. FedEx did pretty much the same thing today. So FedEx and UPS were really, really similar in the sense that you had a big sell-off, bunch of white candles. You had 3 big white candles in a row, and the stock just gapped up enormously on earnings and then faded pretty much the majority of the day. A lot of volume on FedEx. So again, nice gap up. I think tomorrow if we gap down on the markets, again, I'm not prophesying this, but I'm saying if we do gap down the markets, I think we probably trade up more likely the majority of the day. Fill some of those gaps and go from there. If we gap up tomorrow, if we don't start trading up immediately, we'll probably fade down again a little bit, keep filling these gaps, and then kind of bounce. FedEx, I don't have anything on at this exact moment in time. Probably the only thing we could do on FedEx is an iron condor, and usually FedEx doesn't pay a lot of awesome premium for condors. So notice, resistance, support. We can see if there's anything for January, but I'm not going to hold my breath. January 15. What do we got on this one? 165, 170 is 20 cents. And 135, 130 is 20 cents. Nah. Not even 10%. Of a return on that spread, on that condor. This by this. Not even 10%, so I'll leave it alone. So I guess no real trade set up on FedEx. Let's look at, last but not least, CP. What is CP? CP Railroads. Canadian. Gotcha. Canadian. Canadian, strong support, right about 131.35. Got a really good support there, and got a pretty decent support there. Looks like that's probably the next place that it's going is about 115.32. You had a bearish gap down, right? Bearish retest gap. It's retesting again, and if it rolls over, I would say 12, 17, 15 edge is bearish. Likely heads a tad lower into 115 over the next few weeks. All right, that is ticker symbol CP. Dan says, Canadian Pacific, they're trying to buy Norfolk Southern, ticker symbol NSC, which has been pretty volatile recently, selling off again back into this really, really strong support and breakout level. This is a very ugly head and shoulders type of pattern. If this breaks, it likely will come back down into here and should pop again at that trend level. Probably would do something like this again at this level, but it's not really super exciting or super interesting on NSE. The daily gaps right now are semi-confusing. I think that sums it up perfectly how I feel on NSE. And last but not least on today, ticker symbol CBI for Lita. She said she has a 37.50 expiring tomorrow. And that will get pretty close. That will be pretty close. Got a nice little new black crow today. I will look at CBI tomorrow. Keep on the list, and we'll see if you get a sign, Lita. I'm going to get pretty close tomorrow as well. Yahoo is 33.24, so I got 24 cents left on Yahoo, and FAS is about 49 cents with a humongous bearish engulfing candle. So we'll see what these two do. Only one way to find out, and I'll be here tomorrow to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is our last day of real life trading at 2015. We're going on a 2-week break. A lot of you guys are traveling. I've already got a lot of your vacation plans. I think this is fantastic. I'm excited about it. And I'm really pumped to see you guys in 2016. So 2015, 1 day left. We'll wrap it up together, and it'll be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, love life. Well, oops, hold on. Before you go loving life, let's talk about what we're going to love to look at tomorrow. Got a lot to look at. How's that for a transition? Zoe's, ATML, BBD, FedEx, Yahoo, FAS, JetBlue, MMM, CBI. What else you guys want to look at tomorrow? FAS, Bank of America, MasterCard, Visa. Okay, got those. Apple. Yeah, we're going to look at Apple tomorrow. KSI, Kinder Morgan. We can look at both of those. Sure. All right. Rock on. Let's do silver and gold too, just to spice things up. You guys rock. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.